all. It's a signed Dean Stein Cooler jersey. Also, they're giving away a $25 gift card. Go to Tanner's Facebook page. Find the post that is promoting the giveaway and guess how many points Nebraska will score against Ohio State. Tag a friend in the post for who you'd spend the gift card with. They've got their $8.99 half-pound burger and fries special, $5 for 20-ounce Blue Moon drafts. And remember, Saturday post-game show, Jake and I will get you through 90 minutes after Husker game ends. Jay Foreman, Husker Hall of Famer. They can text us, 402-464-5685, or they can call in the Honda Lincoln hotline, same number. You can follow us on the Starter Heyman video stream, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Hall of Famer, what's happening?
Not much, man. It's a Seattle day out there. It's not raining, but it's just overcast and gloomy. But it's all to the good.
Is it fun to practice in it when the weather's like this? Is that better than normal?
Then it's when it's 90 degrees. And
Yeah.
90, it was a 45 today. I probably a perfect football day would be 55 to 65. But
Okay.
yeah, these days aren't bad. Once you're out there moving and stuff, and you gotta get used to it. Sometimes unfortunately for these kids out here and across America that play football, you do have to play in elements that aren't conducive to your coddled lifestyle. So, here's the funny thing. I always say this when people always talk about, where you're from. Can they come here and play? It used to be, I think, when Bo was here, we can't recruit guys from the South to come here. And I get it. If you're not on TV a lot or they can't, now you can kind of get.
Yeah.
It used to be, guys from, I don't know, say Florida or whatever, won't come to a school, that has Midwest type weather. But the funny thing is, every single one of these dudes will tell you they want to go to the league, right? So essentially, I would ask them, so say you're fortunate enough to go to the combine, are you going to put on there, I will not play for in the cold weather. So I'm only going to play the first week through 8th. Because if you play in Buffalo, anything after week 6, this is what you're getting right here. Because you could be playing week 7 in Buffalo, it's 55, and then come back and play week 9, it'll be 75, and then get into week 10 through, well, this case 18, and it's going to be
snow.
This is going to be a day that you want versus like to come out at halftime and you got 3 inches of snow. So, if you want to play football, you don't care what the weather is, what time the game is, who you're playing against, so forth and so on. I don't think there's you can't have a lot of stipulations. It's either football is a sport, which makes it great. As I say, it's the ultimate team sport. I always say this in hockey: it's either you in or you out. And these are two sports. When you compare it to say like basketball and baseball, which do have nicks and stuff like that, whereas baseball is a little different. Where say like you got a strained forearm is equivalent to having like a high ankle sprain. But football, because it takes so much from you, or you have to give so much physically, mentally, and I guess emotionally or / spiritually, there is no in between. It's either we're in this together or you're not. And sometimes, games like this, season like this, you really see the real dudes in the locker room versus the phonies. And you see this a lot in the NFL all the time. I'll never forget. We always were laughing. We had a couple guys when I was down in Houston. In the first year, everybody was there, and it was kind of like I call it like a red shirt year. It's like a happy-go-lucky. No matter, as long as we ran out on the field and the clock hit 4 zeros,
it was enough.
It was enough. Then as we started to winning and fans are, paying a lot of money for their, with the PCLs or whatever it's called, then the expectations got up higher. Signed a couple guys that were supposedly, good. But then the funny thing is we always had a joke in the locker. Like once we were kind of maybe not out of the playoff race, but kind of, you have that loss or that win that kind of propels you into the playoffs from my experience in Buffalo. And then obviously with the Giants in San Francisco, not in Houston, or that loss that propels you kind of, you got to win 2 or 3 games in a row, and you need Indianapolis or Tennessee and Jacksonville to kind of, drop the ball. And then all of a sudden, next thing I'm having, surgery and, just like that. So, it's, football is just a hard sport to play, man. It's hard. It's a very taxing sport. It's a very long, season because you put a lot of time in and you put even more time in the off season. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you prepare 8 months to play 3 months of games, and it's only 12 games.
Did you ever consider, was it ever, hey, I need to play on a grass field versus turf field? Hey, I've got injuries. I need to go to a warm weather place rather than a cold weather place.
I want to go where that paycheck was cash. We're getting cash. So there's advantages to both. And when I first started, or when I first came in the NFL, they still had the true turf field. So I was coming from Nebraska. It didn't really matter. We practiced on grass. So it didn't bother me. I mean, of course, there's different surfaces that you gotta, maybe play a little bit different, but it really was dictated by the weather, right? So like when you played at Oakland, that was back. I mean, they had half the field was grass, then you'd be
dirt, right?
So you gotta have different types of cleats as you play, and you play them. Versus sometimes when you would play, I know one time we went out in Buffalo, we went out and played San Francisco, and later in the year, it's a damper field. So you got to wear like longer cleats. Now, if you have the wrong cleats, or you may be a little bit scared that, your cleat would stick in the grass and maybe mess your knee or ankle up, but, versus grass or anything like that, I never had a problem. I've never really had a, preference or anything like that, because up at the NFL, they're all excellent fields and they're well taken care of. Versus, when we played Missouri the year in '97, it was real sandy, very long grass to kind of negate our speed, something like that. So in the NFL, it's you got to have a good plan. I mean, it's professional football, because you remember when the Ravens were playing the Eagles in that preseason game, and Brian Billick said, "This is my team's not going to play on it," and they had to cancel a preseason game. I bet you all those veterans were cool with that, right? Yep. They get a free day of rest and don't have to play on that type of field. And it was I remember we played Philly maybe the year after, and it still were holes in that.
That turf was awful.
That's awful. I mean, what was the receiver? Was it William Barnett? He was number 86.
Tore his knee up.
Tore both of them on the same play. Yep. I don't really think that it. It's always weird when, and this is before, long ago, where you hear where people were saying, "Oh, it's 11 o'clock game." I don't, where I think one of the guys was, on the team at the time was like, "I don't like playing. We don't like playing at 11, or night games is too long to wait." Well, you play yourself into the primetime slots generally, but ultimately, I would always say, well, if you peeled the onion back of your statement and sat down and and thought about your statement, say before or after, in the off season, when you're assuming your sole focus is to, win the Big Ten West. Let's not even talk about national championship. Let's just win every game that we can play. Would you care what time you played? When you're here's the funny thing: when you're lifting weights in winter conditioning and it kind of is monotonous, or whatever, and you took a ball, would you say, would you rather be playing a game at 11, or would you rather be running, 200-300 yard shuttles and doing the circuit or whatever their program is?
Or would you rather play at 8 o'clock at night or sell cars?
Well, yeah. Yeah, that's that. Well, yeah, dig ditches or do something,
right,
or not have nothing to do,
right? Go to the movie company, go on and get to work in. You don't have to worry about what was.
Or here's a better question: Would you like, if somebody would ask me my rookie year in Buffalo, and it's almost kind of it's almost kind of parallel. I think when I got into the NFL, I think just say my base salary was not even close to what a rookie minimum now is. I think the rookie minimum is close to 300,000, 400,000. Mm-hmm. I think when my base was like 60, right? Mm-hmm. So if somebody would have come to me, just say I'm Jay Foreman in 2021 and I'm a linebacker. They say, okay, would you, in this case, and this is even an extreme case because I already got drafted, right? Say, would you rather get drafted, go to the NFL, and make 60,000, or would you rather another year to come back to Nebraska as well, in my case, I would be I guess another super senior, because I'd be a junior to go into senior, and be almost an NFL rookie and make just, I don't even want 60,000 in NIL deals. Just say I would be getting 30,000 in NIL deals and coming back and really improve myself personally as a player, but then also cement myself more as a foundation in this program? Would you do that? Or would you like to take the risk of, let's take me being drafted out of it, just saying, okay, the potential of going fifth round or later, making the same that, and then maybe being on the practice squad. So you get what I'm saying? There's no vision. There's no visionary thought process into a lot. And this is just not at Nebraska. I'm just talking in general.
But how would you have that conversation with people? Because it'll come up. People ask your opinion.
I would have the conversation with them like how we're talking right now. I could probably get up on a whiteboard and draw it up for you. Unless let's say, and not listen to an agent that that's telling he's going around and seeing 12 guys in a month and telling them all you're gonna you got a top 3 round grade. Let's be realistic here, because I could make a couple phone calls, see where you're at, and then let's just go off where you're slotted. And I think it raises like 5% a year, where and then let's see where you're at and see at the best case scenario, the middle case scenario, and the worst case scenario, or the let's say the DEFCON 1 scenario where you're not even drafted, you're maybe a priority free agent, or you're just like a mini camp free agent, right? Those are the ones you got to think of. I always wanted the worst case scenario, so if that happened, I could deal with the results.
Well, making an informed decision.
Well, no, yeah, but even like when I was coming out, right? When they were like, they give you guys these, these grades. And I kind of looked, and there's a ton of linebackers coming out, and so you could go early, you go late, you can go, when they say anywhere from late second to 7th round, I'm thinking like, okay, well, that's more realistic of late 3rd, most likely.
Yeah, you heard.
Fourth,
yeah, he give you 5 rounds.
Right,
hear the 5
rounds. I'm gonna start my thought process middle of the 4th to 7th, or free agent, and then. And deal with it. Of course, you want to go as high as possible, but at the end of the day, you got to deal with what would happen. So I think a lot of kids, a lot of guys, especially coming out of high school, this is just in general, think that making the NFL is easy. It's not. Making college isn't easy. Making college, or being I'm saying this very a blanket statement. Being a 4-star recruit is not that hard anymore. It's really not. It isn't, because if you have a decent measurables, right? Decent measurables.
Yeah.
So say like Jay Ford,
yeah.
I'm a linebacker, right? I'm 6'2". Just say coming out of high school, I'm 210.
Right.
Right. You're not nowhere near, unless you're going to the Pac-12 or the Big 12, that you could go from high school to Power 5. You're not playing at 210 in the SEC. You're not playing at 210 here. You're not playing 210 most likely in the ACC.
Right.
So we're just talking Power 5.
Right.
Now, when you're thinking Cincinnati and all these other schools, now you could do that, because then you necessarily, you get 215.
Matter of fact, it's ideal for them.
Right. But just talking Power 5. So if you got decent measurables and you go and do like a I don't know, Spark camp, and go to a camp, like a college camp, and do well and test well, or do 7-on-7, there you go. You're 3 or 4-star. Then you throw in and get a little, vibe going on, and you got some good high school tape, which you should. If you're measurable and you're a good enough athlete, you could be a 4-star.
So,
or you could be a 3-star. Because let's be honest, there's not a big difference between 3 and 4-star.
There really is.
There isn't. It's just a matter of who feels like they want to put DP up there.
What would you have been in the star system?
Probably like a 3. I was like an athlete. See. Like an athlete.
So they had you as an athlete, rather than
I became an athlete. I played a numerous amount of positions. Never went to any camps. Never did any of the deals. I was from Minnesota. Not a lot of guys leaving. They were just like, "Oh, you're going to the Gophers." Well, the Gophers didn't offer me until Nebraska, Michigan State, and all those guys started offering me.
What is that happens? That the first question a recruit gets is, who else is after you?
Yeah. Well, it's just the easy way to do your job, right? So if I'm sitting, say, and this is where it's a great thing for the state of Nebraska as far as high schools football and basketball. We've seen it, with Hunter Sallis and all these guys going to Power 5, where they're able to go on and showcase their talents in all these different camps and play AAU teams. So it's great because these kids have raised the bar in the marketability or the brand of Nebraska where there's actually football there. But what a lot of colleges do, so say Clemson, right? Just say North Carolina or Clemson, and say you show interest, DP shows interest in my school, right? So instead of me watching your tape and giving your tape the same type of credentials as a kid from just, let's say, North Carolina, right, with the same measurables, first thing I'm looking at is, has Nebraska offered them, or who else has offered them? So say Nebraska hadn't offered you, or whatever said school hadn't offered you, then I'm not going to look at you that much, which is not doing your job, and that's why there's a lot of misses.
But what if, so let's say that Jay Foreman was exactly what Nebraska needed in their program. So they need a 6'3", 215-pound safety / linebacker who runs 4.6 40, 4.7 40, and has had success at several levels, at several positions in what he's done. If Nebraska knows that's what they need.
Oh yeah, they'll go get it. Yeah, they'll go get it. Yeah,
okay.
Get it. I'm just saying a lot of schools and a lot of evaluators do the star system and give credibility to a player based on who's offered them versus where they're at. You know what I mean?
So,
but can you? I mean, when you watch somebody's huddle tape, can you really tell who's really good and who's not? Because a lot of it is predicated on the competition. Because you ain't putting up there the times that you fumble, the time that you go the wrong way.
Right.
How many guys posted on their huddle tape that they missed a tackle or got blown up in the hole?
Right. They're not showing that, and nor should they.
Or when they miss a coverage or they get beat. So I mean, you really don't know what you have until you have it. But ultimately, it's just one of those things where it's no different than people evaluating college kids going into the pros. There's a lot of guys that look good in college in certain systems that can't make it in the pros. And
don't you trust your eyes more than some anonymous star ranker?
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I mean, look, I know that everybody probably looks at it and they agree with it, but they got a lot of guys that are look, you got GMs out there that are dependent on area scouts and regional scouts and pro scouts to evaluate free agents when they go from team to team and who they rank, in their position groups for what they need going into the draft. And you see it all the time. Guys just don't make it. You know what I mean? Do they do a lot of, heck, look at the unfortunate situation out there with the Raiders. Do they do enough due diligence on certain prospects versus
that's kind of hard to figure out whether that kid's going to go. Do you have a kid that's going to go and do that sort of thing?
Well, yeah, but do you do it? But do you say, oh, we don't worry, we're not going to worry about it because it's just a rookie contract and he's the fastest dude in the draft?
Yeah.
Because the Raiders for the last 30 years have always picked the fastest dude in the draft.
Yep. Constant. Whether they show out or not.
Right. Did you not do your due diligence on Jamarcus Russell?
They really didn't.
Right. So but that's what I'm saying.
They really didn't.
Yeah. But they saw him when you hear about the stories why they drafted him is because he threw from his knees a 70-yard pass from his knees. Now, mind you, did they not look at that he was a part-time starter for a former NFL coach at this school?
Yeah.
And he wasn't even a full-time starter, but he has a huge cannon.
Right? Well, I just wanted to know, when was he going to be required in an NFL game to throw 70 yards from his knees?
That too.
We measure stuff that really has nothing to do with the game being played.
Right. When, remember when, and you know what, you got to give it to these agents and to these players where they're doing these unique things during their pro day to separate themselves from, one player like Johnny Manziel, right? Remember when he did his pro day in it with his pads on? Oh, it was phenomenal. Okay,
he did the extra thing.
Yeah, he did the extra thing. Then they start having brooms out there. Then they start, scripting it, and then they start doing so many passes. Then they start saying the completion percentage. Then they had Lamar Jackson, and he was.
This is what I know. This is what I want the NFL to get to at some point, and I want colleges to get there too. Put your guys out there with these guys that you're measuring, because they will be able to tell you whether this dude can ball or not.
Yeah.
It's not that complicated.
No, it's not. Or just do your job.
right? Like just
Well, how about you? How about whoever's the evaluators actually do your job?
yeah. And if you're gonna put your reputation on the line, we're talking about several $100,000 worth of scholarship value.
Oh yeah, yeah. But
So-
but here's the thing: you could go out there and get a guy, but you just never know how he's going to react to competition, or how is he going to react to structure? How well does he take to coaching? There's a lot of guys that can go out there and have pass the eye test, right? And you can see he can play in a controlled environment, but how does he react in an uncontrolled environment? Where's his leadership skill? You just can't. You won't know that till you get him on campus.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much to it. Like
There's so much to it. There's so many things because it changes year to year.
But that's why this is why
it changes year to year, DP. Because listen here, DP as a freshman, as a like I wouldn't call you like a third wheel, because a third wheel is like you're just there, but like as the third, like
I was.
Well, no, like the like as the third guy, right?
Was.
The third guy that we're game planning for, or the fourth, is a lot different as you move up the pecking order. That's why they say it's always, and I never realized this, and I really realized this when I was in the NFL, is there's a big difference from coming in and say like as a backup and doing work and having games, or like where you start the last like. And when I didn't start at the beginning, but somebody got hurt, then I started the last like 6 games.
Right.
Versus the next year, when
they know it's you,
you
know what you're not sneaking up on anybody.
Exactly, it's a totally different deal.
And they have film on you.
They got film on you. They can prepare for you. And there's a lot more pressure.
I'm going to ask you a question.
That's
I'm
thing.
going to throw it a break, but I got a question for you. I'm going to be fair enough to give you an advance time to think about it. Jay Foreman, I'm going to ask you, how in the world are you not a scout right now? We'll throw it to break. When we come back, Jay will give us an answer that with all of this encyclopedia resource of football players, and what football players look like, sound like, act like, how in the world is that not a fully resourced talent pool? We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Starting the right career is one of the most important decisions you'll ever make. You want to enjoy your career, be challenged, have fun, earn a great weekly paycheck, and work for a great company. If you're looking for a career change or right out of high school, the John Henry's Plumbing Apprentice Program may be the perfect answer. You'll get paid while getting hands-on training. We focus on your skills while you engage in real-world learning. Why not join the John Henry's team today? Apply at jhlincoln.com. That's jhlincoln.com.
John Henry's Plumbing, heating and air. In every office, there's 2 types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels and Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels and Joe.
From Mexican tree pheasants to smoked pigeon street tacos and tagging tiger and blacktip sharks, plus chasing big and dangerous game. This week on The Revolution with Jim and Trav, it's all about the DIY outdoorsman. Joining the boys is Master Chef and outdoorsman Scott Lasath from Dead Meat and the intrepid Dave Folson with Trigicon's World of Sports Afield. The Revolution is presented by Outdoor Channel, Sportsman Channel, World Fishing Network, and My Outdoor TV. Sunday mornings at 8 a.m. on 93.7 The Ticket, Lincoln's ticket to sports.
At Southeast Community College, we know that winter isn't even here yet, but spring is already on our minds. Registration for the spring 2022 semester is open now. Whether you want to get a head start on a 4-year degree, learn a new trade with a certificate program, or add to your job skills, SCC has a class for you. Spring semester starts January 10th. Learn more about our more than 60 programs of study online at southeast.edu. SCC, your path to possible.
Tom and Bach.
Nebraska, they have a 17% chance to beat Ohio State.
What does that mean?
I have no idea. All those computer models are predictors. I don't know where they get them. It's just some guy that they ask down the hallway. Hey, Sam, how much of a chance does Nebraska have to win this week? 17%.
I think they just dust off the old BCS computer and reboot it. See what kind of numbers it spits out.
Yeah, it's not doing anything.
Weekdays from 11 to 2 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey, it's Sean Callahan, and football season is here, and Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill has food and drink specials every night for all the games. Enjoy jumbo pork tenderloin for $8.99 and 90-cent wings for Monday Night Football, or Comfort Thursday Night Football with chicken fried chicken, steak, or pork for just $9.99 and $20 Coors Light aluminum buckets. Watch college football on Saturdays with an Aggie sandwich for $9.99 and Coors Light specials, and catch NFL Sundays with Bloody Marys and more. That's Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill.
Hi, this is Kurt, your shop manager at A1 Automotive here in downtown Lincoln. My promise to you is this: you won't find another automotive repair facility that genuinely cares about you and your vehicle. Our service is outstanding and our customer service is better. Please give me a call for all your automotive repair questions and needs. Call me at 402-477-4660. We were built on small town values, and that shows in how we treat others. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Parents, if you've been waiting for FDA approval to get your teen vaccinated, the time is now. The FDA has approved the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine for use in preventing COVID-19. While this is the first vaccine to gain FDA approval, all COVID-19 vaccines have been proven to be effective against the coronavirus. Want to reduce your teen's risk of hospitalization while protecting yourself and your community? Get your teen vaccinated today. Visit vaccinate.ne.gov to get started.
Hey guys, it's Nicole Griffith. Join me next Monday, November 8th, as I hit the road and do my show live from the Upside Bar and Lounge. They'll have Monday Night Football between the Bears and the Steelers up on the TVs. And if you've never been to Upside, Monday is taco night. 50-cent hard-shell tacos, $1 soft-shell tacos, and $3 house-made margaritas all night long. Ticket weeknights with me, Nicole Griffith, live for the Upside Bar and Lounge at 27th and Pine Lake. That's this Monday, November 11th from 6 to 8 p.m.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Thank you, brother. Welcome back, Tanner's Lincoln, 30th Yankee Hill. You can get down here. I'm telling you, the Dean Stein cooler, 5:45-ish. Jake Sorensen will draw and give somebody that is a nice present. All you got to do is come and put your name in the box. We'll draw 5:45. We just had a listener come up. Frank came up, gave us a shout out. Came up, made time to stop by and say what's up. So Jay, I set you up because I need to know this. How in the world are you not a scout? How is it?
Well, college doesn't have scouts. I've done a little bit at the professional level, but
we're recruiting.
Yeah, I don't know. I never really
because if you
into
look for every dad, mom, athlete, football player that I know of who's being recruited in the country, if you knocked on my door and said, "Give me your son, and here's what we're going to do for him,"
that means I'd have to be a coach. I don't think that's going to happen.
Well. So why would you never be a coach? Why is that? Why would you say that? That doesn't make sense to me. That doesn't make sense.
I wouldn't say never.
Okay.
I wouldn't mind doing it. I mean, but
that doesn't make sense. Why would you not want to? You coach anyway.
Yeah. I would do it. I guess I shouldn't sit up here and lie. So,
but you
gotta be the right opportunity. I mean, you got to go through. You got to go through the ringer and stuff before they even let you get a job.
But I mean, I'll say it again. I'll say it again. I don't
jump through the hoops.
I don't care who's on Joe's University staff.
Right.
How many people can walk into the door of a dad who's going to be of the certain age, right? Most of the dads are going to be your age now, right?
I think so.
So they're going to know who you are. No, but they're going to know who you are.
Yeah.
Well, and they're going to know, okay, this is how hard Jay worked. This is what Jay does. And you have a conversation with them, especially if they're linebackers, safeties, running backs. You come to the door and say, hey, listen, give me your son.
Right.
And I'll make him as good as I can possibly make him. I'll make him because I understand what needs to be done. I'll be there with him, and nothing he's going to go through I haven't gone through already.
Right. I mean, every college has guys that do that, and they got great coaches. So it's just a matter of, I guess, the stars lining up, I guess, and so forth and so on. The little time that I spent down at the university, I've, grown an appreciation for that staff and how hard they work. And they, I will say this, they really care about their players, and I know a lot of different places that they don't, these guys really care about their players. And, that's refreshing this day and time, especially with the climate of, constant moving, right? Coaches there's not a lot of longevity at certain one place than another. So they really, are looking out for their players as much as they're looking out for what they're trying to do on the field. So, and you're seeing a little bit of that, obviously, the improvement in play. I think where you get the connection, in order, you got to have, some sort of relationship from the players and coaches for improvement in the play. So they start to kind of believe in each other. So that's what you see this year. I think it's a big thing. Where you see improvement, obviously not in wins and losses like everybody'd like, but when you're really watching the game, and it's a totally different team that you've seen in years past. So, that's part of coaching is not just putting them, X's and O's up on a whiteboard and saying go have at it. You got to, you're a teacher, you're a motivator, you're a, in some cases a therapist, you're a disciplinarian, you're an accountability coach, you're a cheerleader, you're all different types of stuff. Just depends on the player.
But you have a fully formed opinion on it based on things that you know to be true. Like you've seen it work, you've seen it not work.
Right.
You have a real understanding for it. If you walked to the door of any university and said, I want to be your linebackers coach, or I want to be a part of your staff.
Yeah, I don't think it's that. I wish it was that easy. It's not that easy.
What's the bridge? What's the boundary?
I think that you gotta. Look, there's plenty of former players and whether it's college or pros that definitely qualified. You just got to. It's the opportunity.
You do realize that there are not that many Jay Foremans, right? You do recognize that.
There's a few, but I'm just giving everybody.
It's a few, but
just because I made it and stuff doesn't mean that I'm any better than anybody else. I just think that,
wait.
Look, there's plenty.
I see you humble pie, but
but I'm just saying there's plenty of coaches out there. You
come from one of the goats.
That much.
You come from one of the goats, and then you took that legacy and made it greater by you honoring it. Like how many people consider their dad?
If you're asking me if I could do the job,
yeah,
of course I could do the job.
Okay. That's what.
But I'm not going to say I'm the only one that can do the job.
I didn't ask you if you're the only one. I asked you if you could do it. In order to
get the job, there's a lot of stuff you got to find the fit. You got to find the opportunity. The stars got to align. It's got to be something that I'm willing to do. It's not just a Jay Foreman discussion. It's a family discussion. It's a time. Here's the thing: what people don't understand. This is the fun. And granted, fans don't know, nor should they know or care. So when because you have this quick, the quick, destroy button, I call it, is like, if you're not nuke. You're not. If this is not what if our team isn't like what so-and-so team has done in said years, so then we need to blow this whole thing up again. And the reason why I'm saying it is like, a coach isn't generally out there by himself. He's got, family and stuff like that. It's a family decision. You got to think like when coaches decide to take a job, they just don't decide I'm going to take the job because it's the best for me. It's a family decision.
That's why I'm sitting here rather than coaching.
Right. It's a family decision. So it's not just what I would do, but I'd say, I never say never. And I'd probably say it probably piqued my interest more in the last couple of years than any, but ultimately, right now I want the focus to be that Nebraska gets to the chance to be successful and have a get that winning feeling. So the few times I'm down there, I just try to point them in the right direction and let them know where I, stub my toe and seeing, what works and what's not. But I know that they do a great job of, coaching the players, from the coaches that I, come in contact with, more than others. And so, the hard thing about coaching though, which, sounds good right now when we're in Tanner's and, you can look over and have some libations and you can have some wings and some salaries and see Jake over there.
Mm-hmm.
Jake's got to have libations because he's a Dolphin fan. But if we want to just be celebratory on a day like today, the thing is you're trying to, I said this, I think Monday, you're trying to get different levels of maturity. And there's different maturity levels because there's a maturity level where, and you deal with this in all levels of sports, where you get a kid and he'll be like, yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. This, and this. Go to school, not get in trouble. That's mature, right? Get up, make his bed, and all that. Sports maturity is different. And the sports maturity deals with how self-motivated are you? How much can you deal with adversity? How much you want to welcome adversity? How much coddling do you need? And how much can you not only think about the team before yourself? That's a maturity, right? And so as a coach, you're trying to get all these various levels of maturity, sports maturity, mixed in with your regular, I guess, personal maturity,
right,
to go out there and do adult things. That means, welcome challenges, defeat challenges, find ways to maybe work around challenges, compete individually, think collectively, and then go out there in front of, 90,000 people, however many, on national TV or Big Ten Network or whatever it's on, and put on a good performance, and not just be consumed with what can that do for me, and when do you put in the effort to win that game on Saturday? Because you know what I'm saying?
Well, you're actually making the point that you could, in fact, because you're familiar with it, right? That you could say to people across the board, son, I've seen this before.
Right.
Here's what you might want to avoid. Like
right.
You're headed straight towards the cliff. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Or you're making a bad turn here. Don't do it.
Please. This is, I was lucky,
Right?
This is what I did. This is what I did. This is what didn't work. Yeah. It's a look, I'm the first to tell you, it's not about humble pie. I try to be realistic. Like my goals coming here were very simple, and again, I'll even backtrack here. One of the things I wanted to do, coming from a winning high school program, but just, I like to win, that's fun to me,
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I don't know why else anybody plays sports and not they're doing anything competitive.
Boy, say that. Say wait a minute. Wait. See, that's the gospel that need to be on a shirt. Say that again.
Yeah, I like to win. I liked it. I like celebrating.
Win.
Now, granted, winning in high school was a lot easier than winning in college, but
you know how to win.
You're right. So I wanted to go to a winning program, I guess. And so, being in Minnesota in '94, the Gophers were horrible. Jim Wacker was the coach and all that, so forth and so on. And so, that was one of the first things on it. I want to get an education and stuff like that. But, my main goal was to be here, get a good degree, and possibly start by my senior year. So I kind of knew, and I was realistic. I needed it to develop, and I will tell you, like me coming out of high school, I don't think a lot of schools would have probably looked at me as like what Nebraska staff looked at me, right? Because a lot of these coaches and scouts and ranking systems, they're looking for guys that they view as ready-made. You know what I'm saying? So it took a little bit of vision for me. Granted, I was a good athlete. I played, multiple sports and all that other stuff, but I never lifted weights till literally I stepped foot on campus. And so it's a lot different. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot different. So,
but you also had other resources. Again,
I had a resource that majority of people didn't have. The high majority of people did. So I was the 1%er then. But you got to think, these kids out here, they don't necessarily put a lot of emphasis. When you got people picking schools based on how many uniforms they get, like with Oregon and all that stuff, they ain't thinking about winning. They're thinking about what's for them. So or what's cool and what they deem is cool. So it's a little bit different, landscape of college football, of high school recruiting and so forth. Can it still work? Yeah, it does work. And you just got to find a way to make it work. And it takes a little time to make it work. And it takes a bunch of unique guys to make it work. And here's the thing, like when we were winning, we had some talent, but we had guys that conformed to what we were going. It was already kind of, I wouldn't say on cruise control, but you knew what the deal was when you got here.
Mm-hmm.
And we worked our tails off. We competed like heck, and we never thought about the NFL until.
Well, you didn't have to.
Well, but
because if you did the work, that was going to come.
And we kept it real simple.
Yeah.
But granted, we didn't have NILs, we didn't have social media, which obviously was good.
Amen.
So we didn't have, but we had different distractions, right? Winning was a big distraction. Could you stay focused in all that other stuff? So, it's just it's a different. There's different things that coaches got to deal with, and that Coach Osborne didn't have to deal with. I think the biggest thing was keeping our nose clean. Matter of fact, we didn't have enough distractions, knowing that we had to create our own distractions. That's really what we do. Can we keep ourselves out of trouble, probably, or
Coach's favorite words to hear. I'm bored, because he knows you're letting him know to get to work.
Get to work, yeah. So it's a different dynamic in that sense, and it's a different kid. But you got to find the right ones, and sometimes you got to keep plugging at it. And a lot of kids these days don't have long-term vision, and that's not. It isn't that they don't have long-term. They think the longest that they think is like August to January versus what's my 2 or 3 year plan. The biggest way to, the biggest thing I would probably advice I could give to a high school kid is in the first 2 years, find somebody that's doing it the right way, not the easy way, the right way. See how they're doing it, copy it, and make it your own way.
Yeah.
And that's it, going from high school to college and college to the pros.
And I think some of that is leadership as well.
Right.
I think some of that is. Yeah. We'll throw it to break. For the folks that are in the room, we're giving away this autographed Dean Steinkuhler jersey. All you have to do is come up, put your name in the box, and we will draw it at about 5:45. You don't have to buy anything additional. You just put your name in the box, and we will draw, and we will give that away. We're live at Tanner's, 30th and Yankee Hill. We'll be here until 6 o'clock. We'll give away the jersey around 5:45. They've got food special, the $8.99 burger and fries for $8.99. It's a half-pound burger, $5 for $20 Blue Moon Drafts. Again, you can jump on their Facebook. There's a contest there for you, $25 gift card. All you have to do is say how many points you think the Huskers will score against Ohio State, and then give them somebody that you would share that $25 with. More Old School when we come back. 93.7 The Ticket.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey, buying a used vehicle sucks, and the biggest problem is who can you trust? Hey, this is Carl from Price Right Auto out here at West O Street in Lincoln. Here's what customers have told us they want from us. They want transparent pricing with no games. We have all of our pricing on our website, plus a Carfax report. We don't want to buy a lemon. We include a 3-month warranty on all of our vehicles. We don't want to play games. Just make it simple. You saw that with non-commissioned salespeople. Can you trust us? Just check out our Google reviews. Again, this is Carl from Price Right Auto in West O. Check us out at PriceRightAuto.com.
At MD Pain, we know chronic pain is a problem. It can lead to isolation, depression, and the inability for you or a loved one to live the life you want. That doesn't need to happen. Chronic pain can be effectively managed. The doctors of MD Pain wrote the book on effective, ethical pain management. Get actual solutions with the most up-to-date, clinically proven treatment options available. No one has to suffer in silence. Get real treatment for chronic pain. Call MD Pain.
Parents, if you've been waiting for FDA approval to get your teen vaccinated, the time is now. The FDA has approved the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine for use in preventing COVID-19. While this is the first vaccine to gain FDA approval, all COVID-19 vaccines have been proven to be effective against the coronavirus. Want to reduce your teen's risk of hospitalization while protecting yourself and your community? Get your teen vaccinated today. Visit vaccinate.ne.gov to get started.
The Mercado, a certified Piedmontese beef, is Lincoln's newest full-service butcher shop, offering premium fresh-cut steaks and house-made sausages daily from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. They exclusively carry certified Piedmontese beef raised right here in Nebraska. When shopping at the Mercado, you're not only supporting local, but also enjoying the official beef of Nebraska Athletics. With prime-grade tenderness and unparalleled nutritionals, your backyard barbecue is about to get a serious upgrade. Stop into the Mercado today, located off 84th and Havelock in Lincoln.
Hey, it's Sean Callahan, and football season is here, and Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill has food and drink specials every night for all the games. Enjoy jumbo pork tenderloin for $8.99 and 90-cent wings for Monday Night Football, or Comfort Thursday Night Football with chicken fried chicken, steak, or pork for just $9.99 and $20 Coors Light aluminum buckets. Watch college football on Saturdays with an Aggie sandwich for $9.99 and Coors Light specials, and catch NFL Sundays with Bloody Marys and more. That's Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill.
At Southeast Community College, we know that winter isn't even here yet, but spring is already on our minds. Registration for the spring 2022 semester is open now. Whether you want to get a head start on a 4-year degree, learn a new trade with a certificate program, or add to your job skills, SCC has a class for you. Spring semester starts January 10th. Learn more about our more than 60 programs of study online at southeast.edu. SCC, your path to possible.
Your home should not be a zoo to unwelcomed animals. Let the experts at Bats to Rats take care of those problems. Dane has been a leader in wildlife and pest management and prevention in Lincoln and the surrounding area for 15 years. He can help you get rid of bats, rodents, and anything else. Whether it's residential or commercial buildings, schools, apartments, or churches, they're always a phone call away. Call today at 402-310-0904 or visit batsterats.com. Bats to Rats Wildlife Control and Prevention.
The Mercado by Certified Piedmontese Beef is Lincoln's newest full-service butcher shop, offering premium fresh-cut steaks and house-made sausages daily from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. They exclusively carry certified Piedmontese beef raised right here in Nebraska. When shopping at the Mercado, you're not only supporting local, but also enjoying the official beef of Nebraska Athletics. With prime-grade tenderness and unparalleled nutritionals, your backyard barbecue is about to get a serious upgrade. Stop into the Mercado today, located off 84th and Havelock in Lincoln.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
I think almost everybody wants Frost to succeed, and that's what creates a lot of the discomfort.
But you want him to deserve the time to do it. Right? Give us, yeah, I want Frost to succeed, but I also want you to go deserve the time.
I understand
it takes to do so.
But the vast majority of the fan base wants this to work, right? And that's a lot of what creates a discomfort.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning. Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back, old school from Tanner's 30th and Yankee Hill. We'll be here till 6 o'clock. It's the Husker Hall of Famer Jay Foreman. Myself, we are raffling off an autographed Dean Steinkuhler Huskers jersey. We'll do that at 5:45. All you got to do, come in, put your name in the box. We'll draw one winner at the end of this. And we've probably got an hour or so to get here and get your name in the box. You were laughing because Oklahoma State just took an L.
They took 2 L's this year because remember the Oklahoma State. I know the AD and the president, and remember they had the Big 12 meeting where they it was actually politicians that were going in on Texas and Oklahoma ADs,
right?
And so then Oklahoma State, they were kind of like married, like wherever one went, the other, they kind of went together, and that was the same thing with. Texas tried to, piggyback on Texas A&M. Texas A&M is like, well, we don't want them around, but they're going to be there. So that's the first L that Oklahoma's going to the SEC here shortly. So at the latest 2025. Then their basketball team, who had the number 1 pick, just put on NCAA postseason ban. It's only 1 year, but still, because didn't they hire his brother?
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
So now everybody looking at him sideways, like, man, your brother was only here for like 6 to 8 months. Now we sitting on postseason probation, but they got some ballers down there.
Unprecedented.
Unprecedented. And then they got my man from Lincoln North Star too. So look, it's now the statement that said it's NCAA is picking and choosing, who they want to jam up, and that's true because it's easy to go and pick on the teams that aren't the national championship type teams without the brand. You're not going.
I'm not going to kill my gift horse.
You're not going to mess with Mike Krzyzewski and Duke.
Right.
With the whole thing with Zion, right? You're going to kind of like, let's see, hope that thing dies away. Let's go mess with Oklahoma State and see how we can mess with them. And we only did it for a year.
Well, Oklahoma State's response was, this is from Boynton. I'm disappointed, disgusted, appalled, frustrated. But somewhere in Indianapolis, there's a group of people celebrating. Like, this is personal. This is not. He goes further to say it's no wonder nobody trusts the NCAA. They don't have to come in and do this, answer questions, talk to kids, talk to parents. Student athletes have to be the ones that center decisions that we make. If we want to get serious about playing on a level field, let's monitor and punish the ones who knowingly break the rules we have in place, and not the student athletes that were 7th graders when it happened.
Yeah, it's
wow.
Well,
and Arizona has still not been disciplined.
Yep, and
they were open. They're like, it's on film. They have it on video. They have the audio recordings.
Maybe it's because Arizona was so bold. They're like, I don't even know what to do. It's kind of like with the Patriots when they were filming the Rams and the Rams.
Yeah.
Was it the Rams in the Super Bowl they got in trouble for? Well, they were filming the Jets and everything because Mangini dimed them out. But I think it was the Rams that they were filming in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I think that when you're so bold with it and you breaking the rules, they're just like taken back. They don't know what to do.
It's again, just mark it down. Oklahoma State being punished, and then watch the dominoes. So I need to see what the next domino is.
Yeah. I mean that HBO thing. It was that young brother.
That was gangster.
That young brother that
gangster
did it and was doing it, and then now I think he's an agent now, right?
Gangster.
And
they have it on film. Like
they have it on film and on video.
It's literally the Arizona coach saying, "How much money do you need? You need $100,000? You need $250 cash? Like, what do you need? Do I need to buy a house for the mom?" He went through the full checklist, and they still haven't processed it. So there's something to be said for Oklahoma State saying, "You're not getting everybody. You're just getting some of us."
Yeah, and if and it's. Well, it's kind of like the Washington football team with those emails.
Oh boy.
It is because
they're making it tough to be a fan. They're making it tough for me to be a fan. It's
not with the email. It's what other teams, what other owners, what other GMs, what other coaches, what other things would be brought to light if you exposed all those emails.
But I work this way. For whatever Washington did, get them. Like, get them.
I
get them. Like, my thing is
they're slowly but surely digging through the sexual harassment stuff.
If there's an exception to the rule, there is no rule.
Well, yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. I'm just saying, this is with the NCAA, and these guys are smart enough and they can control it. Like when my man Goodell said, "Look, listen here, this thing is over." Like you just can't come up to me and say you have 650,000 emails.
Mm-hmm.
And
we got 3.
And you only got 3 with John Gruden while he worked at ESPN, even though it's their affiliate. Dealing with Bruce Allen.
You got 3.
And all them. That's the best that you at 650. But here's the funny thing is, you had other guys that were like owners or quasi owners, with the whole calendar girls and stuff like that.
We can talk about that top of the hour, Jay Foreman.
Yeah.
Husker Hall of Famer.
Something more fun.
Husker.
We don't want to talk about that. We can talk about something else.
Husker Hall of Famer Jay Foreman. We're here live at Tanner's with Quarterback when we come back. Another hour from Tanner's. Join us.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Early break with Sip and Jake.
I think almost everybody wants Frost to succeed, and that's what creates a lot of the discomfort.
But you want him to deserve the time to do it, right? give us, yeah, I want Frost to succeed, but I also want you to go deserve the time.
I understand
it takes to do so.
But the vast majority of the fan base wants this to work, right? And that's a lot of what creates a discomfort.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning.
Faculty and staff of Wilber-Clatonia School District asks, would you hold a child's hand while crossing a busy street? Well, think of the internet as the world's busiest street, and it's replete with predators and cyber bullies. Parents, make sure your student is neither victim nor victimizer. Monitor online visits and make sure they're not texting or talking while driving, biking, or walking. This important message is brought to you by Wilber-Clatonia School District, where the safety and welfare of our children is their number one concern. For information on our schools, call 402-821-2266 or visit wilberclatonia.org.
Your home should not be a zoo to unwelcomed animals. Let the experts at Bats to Rats take care of those problems. Dane has been a leader in wildlife and pest management and prevention in Lincoln and the surrounding area for 15 years. He can help you get rid of bats, rodents, and anything else. Whether it's residential or commercial buildings, schools, apartments, or churches, they're always a phone call away. Call today at 402-310-0904 or visit batsterats.com. Bats to Rats Wildlife Control and Prevention.
Have you been to Barn Wood and Leather, that new furniture store in Lincoln? It's a whole new look. If you like country, you'll love Barn Wood and Leather. It's country with a kick. Rustic, yet contemporary, and crafted in America from historic reclaimed barnwood and the finest leather. Create your own one-of-a-kind look for a room or your whole home. Come see for yourself at Barn Wood and Leather, South 14th and Dahlberg. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 5.
Hey, sports fans. Rico here with HIS Auto Care 70th and Van Dorn. Carfax recently awarded us as a top-rated auto service center for 2020, and Lincoln Choice Awards voted us as the 2021 top independent auto repair center. Call us at 402-488-8934 for superior service bumper to bumper. Mention this ad and get 7% off. Doesn't get any better than that. Rico for his Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Angry about a recent Nebraska football loss? Go throw axes at Kraft Axe Throwing. Optimistic about the upcoming Nebraska football game? Go sign up for free football tickets at Kraft Axe Throwing. Bring some friends, reserve a bay for an hour or more, release anger at the targets by hucking an axe at it, and walk away feeling better about yourselves and the football season just in time to enter for a chance to win a free pair of tickets to the next home game as you walk out the door. Reserve your lane online at craftaxethrowing.com or call 402-802-9696. Kraft Axe Throwing at 18th and N in Lincoln.
This is a Broncos Radio Network update.
Touchdown, Denver! How about that? I like that!
Broncos insider Brandon Cristal. Shortly after the NFL trade deadline passed Tuesday, Broncos GM George Paton met the media to talk mostly about the decision to trade future Hall of Famer Von Miller to the Rams in exchange for a second and third round pick in April's draft.
I met with Von. John Elway met with Von. Joe Ellis met with them, and Vic met with them. And just with my conversation, it was honest, it was open, it was emotional. We talked about Von's career and how far he's come. We talked about our current team and how much he loved our team. And we talked about the Rams and how he fits. And we really had a good conversation. But the main thing I communicated to Von, this is a win-win.
The Broncos also sent rookie cornerback Kerry Vincent, who they took in the 7th round last year, to Philly in exchange for a 6th-rounder this year. The Broncos back on the practice field today to get ready to play in Dallas Sunday.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Coming at you live from the Koppel Chevrolet GMC studios. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked up by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hour number 2, Old School, 92.7 The Ticket. Husker Hall of Famer Jay Foreman and myself. We're live at Tanner's 30th in Yankee Hill. We'll be here till 6 o'clock. We'll raffle off a Dean Stein Cooler jersey. It makes a great gift, Christmas gift. It'll look good on your wall. It'll look good on the wall at the office. don't sell it. I don't want to see it on eBay. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
Like, don't do that. All you have to do is come in, put your name in the box. We'll draw it in about 45 minutes and give it away. And that's all you have to do here at Tanner's. Jay Foreman, we were talking about the star system and the rankings and recruiting and all those things. So a quick peek tells me if I go through and look at the top ranked football players from the state of Nebraska, class of 2022. Okay? How many 5-stars do you think are in the state of Nebraska?
Man, I don't know. Well,
No,
one.
I'll save you. There's
No.
none. There's none. There are 2 4-stars.
Okay.
Deshaun Woods from Central and Devon Jackson from Burt.
Right.
That's it. Those are 4-stars. Already committed, already locked in, right? Then you get into 3-stars, which we said is probably the most common space in this. So if recruiters are looking, the elite programs can shop in the 5-star.
Right.
And
so
and
they shop at Whole Foods. We gotta go right here. We gotta be Harris Teeter and Aldi, right?
Right. You're not shopping. You're not getting the same groceries,
Yeah,
right? You're not.
super
You're just not. 4-stars. Nicer, not exclusive, but nicer.
Right.
Probably wish they were in the 5-star, so they're looking at the 5-star programs because of the success of the 5-stars who have attended.
Yeah.
That's kind of how
Supposedly, that's what they think.
right? And then in the middle of the pack, which is really the elite high school football players in each state.
Yeah.
I'll say it again. There's the 4-star and 5-star that are exclusive and elite. You're not, that's rare air. It's very rare that it happens. It's rare that you get them.
Yeah.
The 3-stars, let me give you some idea of where the 3-stars are shopping. Oklahoma, Auburn.
Right. Yeah, it's the 2
Iowa.
Bellevue West.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
That is.
So then it drops pretty quickly to 2-star. Pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Like when I say that there's 2 handfuls of guys in the entire state of Nebraska who are 3-stars, that's it.
3 stars and 4.
No, just 3.
Okay.
Like that's
There's
it.
Just 5 of them, right?
When you get to the 12th ranked player in the state of Nebraska, he is a 2-star.
I mean, it just depends on the year because it'd be some years you got a ton, some years you don't. And just matter of.
So when we say that recruiting requires one, knowing what you need.
Yeah.
Second, being able to communicate that.
Yeah.
To these, because we need to tell the 4-star tight end to come here.
Right.
Because we can provide an opportunity for him.
Right.
If I looked at 2023.
Right.
Oh, let's spin the wheel, Jay Foreman. Let's see what you got. Okay. Of course, the top recruit in the country for the class of 23 has a familiar name.
Oh, it's Manning, right?
Arch Manning. Arch Manning. Arch Manning is at the top of the list for national. Here we are within the state of Nebraska. There are 2 ranked players.
So I mean, they'd be 4 top. Is that top 100 or top 300?
The top 2 in the state for the state of Nebraska graduating class of 2023. Both of them have committed to the University of Nebraska. Both are 3-stars. There are no 4-stars. There are no 5-stars.
Yeah, not yet. You know, sometimes you can get that last 4-star because I think where Keegan Johnson got his 4-star towards the end of his high school career. For you people out there, I think he did because I think I saw something right. So it's all kind of just, just based on. I don't know. I mean, it's just sometimes when you talk to these dudes, and look, they do a good job. They do the best they can. I think a big thing here's the problem with this is the NFL problem. I remember this as I was exiting the league. I was talking to. I'm trying to remember the GM that I was talking to, and I was talking to the GM, and we were all kind of having a beer because it was me and this assistant GM, and matter of fact, it was me and Dan Morgan was there.
Okay,
and he was like, "You know what the problem is?" He's like, "The NFL is turning into more of better athletes, worse football players. So that's a measurable type of deal."
That's a good point.
And then it just trickles down to high school. And like I said, I wouldn't have been recruited at a lot of places because I had a decent, I got wide shoulders or whatever, but I was a basketball player. I didn't have I never lifted weights. Literally, It was no joke. When the first time I lifted weight, I knew what to do.
Right.
But when Nebraska sent their off-season program, they sent this thing that you they wanted you to work out before you got there. That thing went straight into the garbage. I think my dad probably used it for the fireplace that following year. I was not lifting weights.
No.
Right? So I was not developed. I wasn't looking like these guys coming out of high school that
right.
Like the running back Nebraska's going to face this Saturday.
Oh yeah, Mr. Henderson
does
not look like an 18-year-old.
Right. And that was not me. So it's just it's a different, like I said, it's a different type of deal. It's hard to do. You got to do your due diligence. You only get and you get limited time, man, on how to. You're not.
Well, once you're behind, you're behind.
Well, yeah, but it's a limited time to get a true evaluation on these guys, especially after COVID, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this everybody has to deal with stuff with COVID. So you weren't able to go out and do your research. You weren't able to get guys to do unofficial visits. You when you go to the high school, you're dealing with depending on the high school coach, this dude could be jag off, and so you're not getting the true. Yeah, you can go around, ask the science teacher and all that, but you're not, so you're not. You can get a little bit of background on them, but these kids are 16, 17, 18 years old, so you really don't know.
This was so we would have, as a coach, we would generally try to be there for recruiting visits, right? So if coach was coming in, we would make ourselves available. And I won't talk about the kids specifically, but I'll tell you that it was the University of Virginia, and they came and they sent their guy in, and they did everything. They go to several classes,
right?
And they talked to the teachers, but he never made notes. He didn't make notes until he started talking to the girls.
Yeah.
And that's when he started writing stuff down, and that's when the kid lost a scholarship.
Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, so it's
because they haven't figured out in the STAR system how to measure heart, integrity, character, attitude.
Yeah.
None of the stars don't evaluate that. What the stars will evaluate, the 5 is that this guy could walk in and be a starter for you
generally
in any program.
Any program.
In any program. That means that if you see a 5-star, no matter what program he's in, he walks in with the opportunity and a real opportunity, right, to play. Then the 4-star. 4-star is above average talent, all the measurables.
Right.
So all the measurables have to be in place.
Yeah.
Whatever for that sport, that group, whatever it is.
Yeah.
3-star is the project.
Yeah.
That says he will help the program. He may not help it now.
It will eventually.
But he will eventually help it and be a contributor to the program.
Or he's a 5'11", 6-foot receiver versus a 6'2", 6'3" receiver.
That's where the guys drop down to 2 stars
or 3,
right? That high 2
or 3. Or he might go. He might be a 4-star player, but a 3-star based on measurables.
And 3-star doesn't promise you Power 5 football.
No, yeah, sometimes no. There's some 3 stars down at the Sam Houston State. There's 3 stars at North Dakota State. There's 3 stars at Arkansas State, Jacksonville State. As you've seen when they went up and beat Florida State, there's plenty of 3 stars, or there's 2 stars supposedly that never got the 3-star because, and a lot of times they might be like, oh, well, this state has too many. It's almost like they cap. They'll cap like Iowa, Nebraska, and South Dakota, North Dakota. You're only allowed. No, listen here. No, they'll be like, hey, listen here. Now, enough is enough.
Wait a minute.
Like, this is enough is enough. Okay, you're only allowed 2 4-stars a year. I don't care if you have Barry Sanders there. You're only allowed
based on population.
But yeah, based on how dare you?
Based on population.
How dare you guys have 10 4-stars there? How dare you guys in Nebraska do that?
Yeah, there's that, and that there's a limited number of stars depending on the sport. So there's that in place. So if you're a parent out there or you're a coach and your kid's a 2-star, that's not saying that he can't play at Nebraska. That's saying he's got some work to do and some things to overachieve at.
And you had to be more diligent in how you plan on how to get the notoriety that you might think that your son or daughter deserves. And you're going to maybe have to go outside of the state borders to get the recognition. I mean, you got to think, Donovan Williams, the guy that, that's playing at Oklahoma State, the basketball player, I know he played a lot of AAU basketball down in Kansas City. And I think that raised his profile. And now, granted, when you're playing against Hunter Salas and all them, but for him you have to think outside of the box, because just because you're in the state board, that doesn't mean that everybody that runs a 7-on-7 program, a training program, a high school football program, AAU program are going to do the best for your son or daughter. You have to be able to
say that again.
You have to
that again.
You have
that
to
part.
be, and then also this is also what college recruiters or staffs have to look at is you got to look at whoever their whether it's parents or whoever their adult figures are too as well, because the worst thing you could do is not the worst thing you do is the worst thing you could have is that you're trying to coach a kid. You're essentially allowing them to be your quasi father or parent figure for 4 or 5 years, and then you got the person that raised them is working against you in the behind the scenes, and that because that means it's a tug of war that you're not going to win.
Well, look, there have been more parents who have cost their kids
than
a scholarship
yeah.
than those have in trying to help. There are right ways to help,
right.
And then there are wrong ways.
I always
to help.
tell parents if your kid is being coached or disciplined and it's personal, step in. If it's not personal, then sit back and chill.
Well, and you can reach out and introduce yourself, but when
they know who they are, they get to go on recruiting trips now. When I stepped off the plane in Lincoln after a basketball game, my grandma made me wear a white shirt, black tie, and I had this I don't even think it was cashmere. It was bootleg cashmere, red sweater, and a winter coat. And she was like, "You cannot go down there looking good." Now these kids get to have 2 parents come, and then sometimes
it's paid for.
And it's paid for.
It's paid for. Meals are paid for.
Yeah.
We had to. I true confessional. First of all, you outdressed me by a lot.
Oh, I didn't want to.
Look, bro.
I showed up. I was the only person dressed up. Everybody had sweatpants on and jeans.
No, man. Look, my mother went. She would do this thing where she would go shop. She found a denim suit, a green denim suit.
Dang.
And put me in a white turtleneck.
That's what
and some Earth shoes.
That's what I'm
to get on to walk on a college campus. And my coach looked at me and he goes, "You were way cooler when I met you in high school." Right. I was like, "Yeah, well, mom set this one up."
To say, that was the only visit that my grandma had any type of.
But my grandmother picked the school though. She actually picked the school, and she had her reasons, and I followed, of course.
Yeah.
But I think a big part of it, and I wanted to have the discussion with you because there are a lot of people who are reaching out about their young people. And it's such murky water. And the way to clean it out is to get yourself out of it and then ask people who have been in the system.
Right.
Like simply ask people who have been in the system.
And then be okay with the answer, though, too.
Well,
don't ask for somebody's help and then be like, "All right, I got the answer, then I'm going to go the other way." Then just don't waste my time.
Well, I can never promise anybody that you're going to be D1 or you're going to play here, you're going to play here. What I tell people is that, look, if you follow the system and you do everything that you can do, you're going to end up in the right place.
Yeah.
Like you are going to end up in the right place. And sometimes it's not just academics. No. Sometimes it's not just social engagement. Sometimes it's your personal profile away from the game.
Right. Oh, yeah.
And that's lost often. Sometimes it's the quality of family, right? Good families that get you spaces only because they know your work ethic and they know how much you're committed to it. And then, importantly, your young person's ability to communicate with the coaches that he or she's going to deal with.
Yeah.
Because if your child can't speak up, it is difficult.
Right.
It is difficult because now you have to, as a parent, you have to involve yourself more than you need to. So, Josh from the text line asked, "Is there such thing as a 1-star?" Yes, there are a whole bunch. 1-stars are.
Well, is there such thing as a no star? Hey, when you go there and they give you a ranking, you know how like you get the envelope and everybody's waiting for your ranking?
Yes.
And you're like, "Dang, you ain't got no stars."
Yes.
I'm thinking like how these parents go on the visits. I'm just thinking about Chuck Foreman on some of them visits, and some of it, man.
Your visits were different than everybody
No,
else.
I'm just talking.
Your
about
visits were different.
Dealing with. Well, I left Wisconsin with Barry Alvarez. My dad always said, man, keep 4 quarters in your pocket. That's it. He's like, you could call home. And I remember when Barry Alvarez was like, my dad, the only time my dad got it, he said, hey, listen here, he's not taking an official visit unless you offer him a scholarship. That was it.
But offer first.
Yeah, well, that was the conversation.
Offer first.
That was the conversation before it was okay for me to go to the visit.
Look.
So Barry Alvarez had told my dad he was giving him a visit, and then and he was like, "Oh, we're gonna hold off on the thing. We're gonna wait till what these other dudes say." I called my dad. He said, "Listen here, go to the airport," and he's like, took a cab to the airport. I was home I got there Friday night. I was home by Saturday night.
It was the first
It was
time.
a nice little party Friday night, though.
Well, it was nice. Okay, I know where you went too. I know exactly where you went. Those recruiting trips all end up the same way. We made a decision before I went. Like there were several schools I went to, but in each of them, it was one for me to see rather than to meet them and engage. Because I said I wasn't coming on a visit. You weren't going to use me to get somebody else.
Oh yeah.
Which is what that was. I said, look, if you're not going to offer me in advance, I'm not coming.
Yeah.
Well, one, because I knew better.
Right.
Like I knew better. So a lot of the communication that goes on, again, if you're out there and you're a parent or you're a mentor or you're somebody looking out for somebody, the way this thing has to work is you have to put yourself in a position where you listen more.
Yeah. Don't hear them.
Right.
Don't hear the sales pitch. Listen, and then let their actions speak louder than what they're telling you.
Well, and the main thing is,
and vice versa.
Accept the truth.
And vice versa. Yeah,
accept the truth, because look, folks know me. If your child can't play, I'll tell you your child can't play. Like that's usually never it. But it's rare that I have to tell somebody that, because there is a value system in it.
Right.
And then I'm like, oh, but that thing you do, that one thing you do, they need.
Yeah.
They need that. And I think it gets lost sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, it's nobody wants to. I think it all starts from youth sports, because, in particular in basketball, you got like when I was coming up, there was only, like in the state of Minnesota, there's 2 AAU teams, there's A and a B team.
Mm-hmm.
Club. So that was your club, right? You represented the state of Minnesota, and then when you played middle school or you played school ball, you didn't play for a club team during the fall. You played for your middle school team. That was the most exciting time. So now it's like you got so many different options, and everything's predicated on the A and B team or whatever, and whatever parents and checkbooks can manipulate it. And so a lot of these kids, when they get to high school and they're playing in high school and they got to go and deal with colleges or wait for these rankings, and they realize their kid's not that good, it's something, where they don't want to hear it. And it's different. I think finally in the 2 major sports or male sports, basketball and football, Nebraska is starting to get the respect that they deserve as far as like the amount of high school athletes. You got to give it up to Warren Academy and all that, where they're taking kids and exposing them. And, and he's taking, all the kids that have went places, most of them came through Warren Academy. You know what I mean? And, and so they're taking them playing 7-on-7, doing all the different stuff. And so,
but what has to happen to make sure that those kids stay in the state? What has to happen?
What's funny is, like, I think up in they call it the Metro in Omaha. I think like it's been, let me see, what is it called when the water's, water system poisoned? So it's been in the water system, poisoned water system, that it's like fashionable not to go to Nebraska now, right? So it's kind of like it's the cool thing to do. It's almost.
So how do you change that?
Well, you got to change. Well, there's 2 things. One, it's like you got to keep plugging away, and then you got to win, and then it'll kind of go in a cycle.
Is it winning first though?
Well, of course, but like I said, kids these days don't put an emphasis on winning. Like here's the thing: just because you go somewhere at said position doesn't mean that you're going to be there at said position in 2 years. Or what happens? You go down there and you see that I wouldn't say a dime a dozen, but there's plenty of guys that look like you, And then you either got to switch position or next thing you know, the easy thing is I can go back in the transfer portal.
Well, but you switched positions.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw Lawrence Phillips. I watched Lawrence Phillips on TV. I saw that he was a freshman.
Right.
Okay, that means I'm thinking he's going to be at running back for at least 2 more years, right? Because you couldn't go to the NFL until your junior year.
Right.
And then, Coach Brown was like, do you want to play wing back? I saw Abdul Muhammad led the team in receiving, and he had like 20-some catches. I'm like, nah, man. Like, that ain't for me. Like, I mean, I ain't saying I'm Jerry Rice, but I'm not trying. Like, if your leading receiver has 20 catches,
yeah,
there ain't too many left for me.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And I ain't trying to, I love it. I ain't trying to cut block. And, I ain't doing
Which you were going to do a lot of.
You're going to be cut blocking.
Yeah.
And I ain't, I could knock out some safeties, but that's. And then I was like, I played a couple games at safety. It felt like I played, a lot of teams recruited me at safety or looked at me, and Iowa looked at me at safety. And then, they had a ton of guys there. Coach Kevin Steele we didn't have a linebacker recruit in that class. Guess he was bored. And we had Travis Toline, Mike Rucker, and Grant Wistrom was our defensive ends, rush ends, that's what we used to call them, recruits. And then so Coach Steele coached me. He was like, oh, you got a big frame. I'd never forget. He came out. He's like, oh yeah, you got big frame. He's like, you look like you want to play linebacker. I was like, yeah, let's go kick it. Next thing you know, the rest is history. So this opportunity and just it was a great opportunity, and I was fortunate to learn from some good guys. But they had vision for me, and they were open to me playing defense. So like in particular, I think one of the I always talk about the Barry Alvarez in Wisconsin and stuff like that. They solely looked at me as a running back. My dad always taught me, granted, your last name's Foreman, you live in Minnesota, they're going to automatically put you at running back. And I could run the ball, and got recruited by Michigan State, and everybody is, they were looking at me at running back, and Nick Saban was like, you can play safety as well. But they solely were looking at me at running back and possibly receiver, where everybody else, like, they saw me play a few games, which I only played in high school, 3 or 4 games of defense. So the yearning for defense was there, but they saw the potential there, saw the closing speed I could hit and run and all that. And my dad always say, be open to position change. I mean, look, my dad played defensive tackle and tight end. Okay, I think he just tweeted out the picture. He was a defensive tackle and tight end. He was a tight end first at Miami. Then they moved him to kind of a wing back, and then next thing you know, he played, running back or whatever in the NFL for all those years, and was pretty successful at it. So, where you start is not where you end. But I think now everybody has kind of been or they're so specialized, even in sports. Like from 6th grade, I'm going to be just a baseball player. This is what I'm going to do, and I'm only going to be a pitcher. I'm only going to be a catcher, or I only want to be third base or outfield, or I only want to play basketball, and I'm only going to play, guard or whatever, or football. I'm only a receiver. Well, then you're really pigeonholing yourself, and it doesn't work out because there's a lot of receivers out there. There's a lot of pitchers. There's a lot of everybody out there that's just as good as you. And you know what? If they need you at another position, then that's how you can end up making a great career. I mean, look, there's plenty of guys. What was the guy for the St. Louis Cardinals that came in as a pitcher? He was
Rick Ankiel,
and then he went to outfield, right? Or vice versa. Ended up playing 10 years in the major league.
Dale Murphy. Murphy came in. He was drafted as a catcher.
Right.
And they moved him from catcher to to first base because he was too tall.
Right.
And then they figured out, they put him in center field. They figured out they could run him around. And the very same team, Ron Gant was another one.
Right.
Ron Gant started out as
bodybuilder.
as a third baseman. Then they moved him to second base.
Right.
And then finally they said, well, let's turn this dude into an outfielder. And
there you go.
So
I mean, more you can do.
Yeah.
Look at Brian Jordan. I mean, if there wasn't Deion Sanders, Brian Jordan is that guy.
Yeah, well, right.
You know what I mean?
Love that dude.
So
love that dude.
Because they just had obviously the Braves winning it last night, which I'll admit, my pick for Houston Astros, they essentially choked.
You and me both. You're not alone.
Give it to the Braves, because the Braves, I grew up watching the Braves because they were on TBS, and they would always and they would always lose.
They were terrible. They were terrible.
No, they would always get to the play. They'd always let themselves down, right?
Well,
but remember they had
the Yankees beat,
right,
and then gave it away.
Right.
They had Minnesota beat, gave it away. Yeah.
But you just think they had Maddox, Smoltz,
Glavine.
And they would
Steve Avery,
right, and they would never
Petrosian.
and they would never get over the hump and give it to them. They did it now in the year that they're not supposed to.
Yeah.
And my
Good for them.
Astros, I think the Astros, I hate to say it, their window has officially closed.
You lose Correa.
It's just
but you also have to remember that they did this without Verlander.
Where is he?
He was hurt
All year?
Verlander,
What, you got Tommy John?
McCullers. Their pitchers won.
Where's Verlander? He's been out
Yeah.
all season. You got
1A,
Tommy John?
and so your 1A and 1B were out. There's something to be said. But kudos to the Braves. We'll throw it to break. Again, we're live at Tanner's. We'll be here for another half hour or so. We're going to give away this jersey. Come on through. Jay, I want to talk a little bit about Ohio State and what they're bringing to town when they come on Saturday. You're listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Tired of interrupted printing or money-wasting long-term copier contract? Join Cartridge World's no-cost printer program. You get a free brand printer, free service maintenance and repair, free delivery. All this for just buying our high-quality, affordable printer cartridges. Simple agreements and a local-friendly service, as it has been for more than 25 years. Cartridge World. Contact us today.
Angry about a recent Nebraska football loss? Go throw axes at Kraft Axe Throwing. Optimistic about the upcoming Nebraska football game? Go sign up for free football tickets at Kraft Axe Throwing. Bring some friends, reserve a bay for an hour or more, release anger at the targets by hucking an axe at it, and walk away feeling better about yourselves and the football season just in time to enter for a chance to win a free pair of tickets to the next home game as you walk out the door. Reserve your lane online at craftaxethrowing.com or call 402-802-9696. Kraft Axe Throwing at 18th and N in Lincoln.
Beatrice Bakery has been serving Nebraska with one-of-a-kind Grandma's Fruitcake since 1964. You already know that, but did you know they offer way more than that? You've got to try their line of liqueur cakes like the strawberry daiquiri cake or the vanilla rum cake. Or what about their breakfast breads, the banana nut bread, or their various streusel coffee cakes? Whatever the occasion, Beatrice Bakery has something for you. Oh yeah, and Grandma's Fruitcake? It's still pretty darn good. Beatrice Bakery, located in downtown Beatrice, or always online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
Working at Continental of Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now, they're hiring for production operators at $21.72 an hour and other select jobs starting at $23.42 an hour, with wages growing up to $27.55 an hour. Continental also has salary jobs available with great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates. To learn more or apply, go to continentaljobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Dreaming of the perfect kitchen? More room for entertaining? Today, the Johnsons got both and saved by consolidating their debt. With a home equity line of credit, you can borrow money as you need it, have flexible payment options, and pay interest on only the money you're using. If you have equity in your home, the possibilities are endless with a home equity line of credit. What will you decide to do? Get started by visiting libertyfirstcu.com today. Approval required. Equal opportunity lender. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose.
Here's to days spent roaming and to sleeping beneath the stars. To casting another line and letting time in this station.
Join DP and Jay Foreman on Wednesday at Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill. DP goes 1-1 with Husker Online Sean Callahan at 3, and Jay joins from 4 to 6 p.m. to preview the Ohio State game and more. That's all this Wednesday at Tanner's, 30th and Yankee Hill.
Have you been to Barn Wood and Leather, that new furniture store in Lincoln? It's a whole new look. If you like country, you'll love Barn Wood and Leather. It's country with a kick. Rustic, yet contemporary, handcrafted in America from historic reclaimed barnwood and the finest leather. Create your own one-of-a-kind look for a room or your whole home. Come see for yourself at Barn Wood and Leather, South 14th and Dahlberg. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 5.
Back to Old School with DP and J. Presented by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Oh, I hear you, Nick. Trying to make a comeback. I hear you, Nick.
Oh, he knows what makes you smile. That's simple. There. We're live at Tanner's. You've got about 20 minutes. About 20 minutes. Nah, make it 10. You got to get here if you want to be a part of the
You gotta
raffle.
fight this. You got to fight this Lincoln traffic, man.
Yeah, to get here and see if we can raffle this off.
Hey, if you're Luke Fickell, how mad are you right now?
About what?
The first little ranking. Because they pretty much told you ain't getting in.
You're not. Well, but he's not surprised.
Oh, he hot.
No, he can't be.
He hot. He hot. He hot right now. The reason why he's mad because Alabama is number 2.
No, but is he new to football?
No, but you got to be salty though. He didn't expect Alabama to be number 2.
Of course he did.
No, he did. You
course
could
he
just
did.
tell by his quote he was hot.
No, he's supposed to say he's hot.
Yeah.
But he, by no metric did he think in his head that they were above Alabama in this pool. Not one bit. Not one bit. If Oregon's sitting back laughing, because again, they're ahead of Ohio State because they beat them. They beat them. That's pretty simple. If what I want to know, if I'm Wake Forest and I'm about to win the ACC championship on an undefeated season, why am I not getting Clemson love? Because if that
Wake
name was
Wake Forest ain't getting in, man. Them cats went to Notre Dame and beat their head in. They did everything they were supposed to do, and they still up in 6. But what they need to do is just be patient because Michigan State has a lot of more football to play.
Mm-hmm.
Alabama has to play Georgia at some point in time, and Oklahoma is Oklahoma, right? And
Yeah,
so
they're going to hiccup.
Right?
They're going to
And then
hiccup.
you got Ohio State that has to play at least Michigan State, and they got to play Michigan. So, yeah, of course, you know the first one's always shocking, but they can still get in. They need some help, but it's just funny. But,
Who do you think the 4 will be?
at the end of the day?
Yeah.
I think it's going to be Georgia, Alabama. I think they should be in there. They passed the eye test.
Well, but what if Georgia beats Alabama in the SEC championship, and they go with 2 losses?
Yeah, that'd be hard. I would then know. I mean, much as I think Alabama would deserve, they don't know.
Now, if Alabama beats Georgia, they're
then
both in.
They're both in. So
Okay,
that's
fair.
what I envision happening.
Fair.
Then after that, I would probably say I'm gonna still go with, as much as I like Michigan State, I would probably go Ohio State.
Okay.
And then after that, you know, it's up there. Now, here's what I would ask myself if I'm Luke Fickell, like without being on record or whatever. I know they're good. I know they played Georgia last year pretty tough, I think. But, man, you know, it's just, do you want to expose yourself to go out there and play like an Alabama or Georgia this year?
Yes.
Or Ohio State? Now, granted, but how big can you go? Like, can that program go? You know, he's taking it. It's kind of like Brian Kelly when he's taking him to as far as he could.
I'll say this.
Because you go out there and you get the brakes beat off you against the real deals. Because Notre Dame ain't on the level.
But it hasn't hurt Notre Dame. It hasn't hurt Notre Dame's recruiting.
No, yeah, but Cincinnati's not recruiting. Cincinnati's not Notre Dame.
Okay.
And it's not about recruiting. It's about I mean, I guess it'd be great because it'd bring a ton of money to the program.
It's a ton of money.
So you got to kind of go out there and take it. I'm just thinking,
and
I got to get out of the way and thinking that Luke Fickell's going to stay there for another.
And
5,
not
10
everybody
years.
can get in at Alabama. So those people need a place.
And they can't get in Ohio State either.
Right. So
Yeah.
Clemson and Notre Dame are really wonderful places.
Right.
Now, Oklahoma to go if you can't get into Alabama, Clemson.
Right.
So, yeah, if I'm Cincinnati, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. And look, no matter how it plays out. Now, I'm still not sure Cincinnati walks the table. But
Yeah, because they've been offensively, they've struggled.
I'm just not that impressed.
Right. I was more impressed with them last year than this year.
Right.
Especially offensively. You'd think they would be a little bit better.
So who will be the highest ranked team to not get in that you think should get in? So it's top 6, right?
Well,
we're
top
doing
4.
six.
Or are you doing 6?
We're doing 6.
I mean, it'd probably be Cincinnati, but I think if Cincinnati has like a hiccup, they're going to drop like
all the way out.
All the way out.
But then I think if that happens, then Wake Forest will go, well, wait a minute.
Yeah, Wake
Our
Forest,
schedule-
they'll have the argument.
Right.
that
Wake
they
Forest's schedule is tougher than Cincinnati, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just based on their conference.
You're in the ACC. And
Yeah.
you've been saying for years, ACC matters.
Yeah.
ACC matters.
Yeah, show me.
Right. Like now it's that time where you go, okay, here we are.
Yeah.
So Ohio State comes to town this week, and what they do offensively, they're really gifted at doing a lot of things very well, a lot of basic things very well.
Yeah, the thing about Ohio State, what people don't understand, versus like Purdue last week, they ran a ton of formation, a ton of different plays, dressed them up different ways, and
8 plays.
You know,
They
ran a ton of different plays, different formations.
8 plays from a lot of formations.
But with Ohio State, they run pretty much. They're like, man, we're gonna run like 6 plays, and we're gonna just gonna out athlete you and
bubble screen,
and we're gonna out execute you doing it. We're gonna do what we do better than you do what you do on a consistent, especially offensively. Now, defensively, their defensive line started slow this year, and I think in particular it was because of the calls, and they had a ton of rotation, so they weren't able to get in the groove. But offensively, you know, they've kind of been the same. And so what they bring is a ton of experience, continuity. Even though they have a new quarterback, you know, when you're the way that they practice and compete, the guys can go from being a redshirt to playing pretty well. I know Coach Day, the way he does his stuff, he puts a ton of pressure and put the quarterbacks in pressure situations as much as he can to try to make the games, you know, easier. So offensively, they execute well. They're physical. They're big. They're fast. But you know, Nebraska shouldn't be like scared. They know that they've played them and played them well last year. They're battle tested, you know, defensively and team wise. And then defensively, what Ohio State brings is, I would say they're always going to bring a defensive line. They're inexperienced at the second and third levels, but they got great athletes. And they've been improving every week, especially after that Oregon game, which I think they just got exposed and exploited. And they changed some stuff up, and they're playing with a ton of confidence. And they're led by their defensive line, where they can play the run and the pass. DBs are good, linebackers are decent, and they're, you know, kind of just every week for them is like a challenge where they're trying to improve and to be to the standard that Ohio State have been playing in the past. So, you know, yeah, it's going to be a hard, you know, road to toe for Nebraska, but it's nothing that they haven't faced. Look, you played a Michigan defense, you know, take last week out of against Michigan State. That's pretty salty and pretty athletic. So, and you had some success. So, and you played against athletic defense in Oklahoma, and you played against Michigan State's defense. So you played good defense against great players, first round picks, draftable guys. So going out there and playing, you just got to go out there and execute it. Like, again, Nebraska plays well, they'll have a chance to win. If they don't play well, they won't have a chance to win. And doesn't matter who they're playing.
Well, I mean, Ohio State doesn't beat Penn State if Penn State doesn't help them.
Right.
Right.
I mean,
and that's been constant. So the message going into it is Nebraska needs to take care of the ball in order to do this. They also need to have some offensive success
Thank you.
up front. Their
Yeah.
bigs have to have a good Saturday.
Yeah, you know, you're not going to line up and dominate Ohio State. You're not going to just blow them over. You got to win or break even. You can't. I always say you can't have the impeding the progress type of plays where you just whiff, guy just runs you over, and you're just, you know, you're stopping the pass or run play before it even can get started. If you can, you know, get some, you know, stalemates and some 50-50s and then win some and keep them off their heels, you can have a lot of success. And look, Nebraska had a tremendous amount of success against Ohio State last year for the first, you know, 3 quarters, and then the game got away from them, and it's their own doing, right? Right before half, then come out the first possession, second half, sack, forced fumble. They score, they get you on your heels, and then the next thing you know, they before you can even kind of catch your second win, you know, you done took 2 body blows and 2 headshots, and you're in a standing 8 count, and they're still bouncing around. So, you know, you got to keep yourself in the game. You can't, you know, have a ton of penalties. You can't have a ton of turnovers, and that's against any team, but especially when you're playing a great team like Ohio State, you got to do it the same way when we played Michigan, same play we played Michigan State. You can't beat yourselves. And so, you know, Nebraska's biggest opponent is themselves, and it always has been all year. And that's you know, it might sound cliche, but if they handle their business, they're going to be able to play with anybody and win the game. And that's not being a homer. That's being straight up. You know, look, you know, shoulda, coulda, wouldas, or don't do anything for you right now. And what is it saying? If was a fifth, and we'd all be drunk. But at the end of the day, there wasn't a game that they played this year that they didn't have control over or have the ability to win. Now they just got to go out there and win it. And it's even harder against Ohio State because of how explosive they are, how well coached they are, but how efficient they are. Not a lot of penalties, not a lot of bonehead plays, but there's still plays to be made. That teams, Oregon has showed you bring it to them and you keep bringing it to them, then the game becomes slower and you're able to play. Now we're able to play on the same level playing field. But if you sit out there and there's not communication and me and DP, blow a coverage or we don't,
I'm not blowing coverage, man. Don't put that on me.
I'm just like, well, hypothetical. And me and Jake, Jake's a Dolphin fan, so they blow coverage all the time. But if you don't, and here's a big thing, does the second level help the third level? Does the first level help the second level? Because and I'm just talking primarily defensively. It's a team. You got to be playing well as a team offensively and defensively. Are you making the block that's the most dangerous in the run game? And then waiting to get to the second level. Let's take care of the first level, and then, then we got to make hay on the second level. So it's a little bit of everything. So, from what I've heard, I think they're ready to play and they're looking forward to the challenge. I always say this, football sometimes it's one of those things that sometimes you get backed into a corner, right? So. Always remember the first time that you go to middle school, you're a sixth grader, some eighth graders try to see what you're made of back in the corner. Then you gotta fight your way out, right? They're trying to see where you're at, see what you're up against, right? There's an old story about me and Mike Minner. He wanted to see where I was at, and I was ready for it. We didn't fight, but he just wanted to see what I was made of.
You got to stand off,
right? And then sometimes you back yourself into a corner, right? Make mistakes, not play up to your capabilities, and sometimes you back yourself in the corner. So then you say. And that's as a player, right? You get in the locker room. See, are we competitors? Are we in this together? Talk about brotherhood. Are we going to finish this thing out? And we're going to represent ourselves right these last 3 games, right? Or are you going to tap out and start kind of fingernail hurt and all this other stuff? Sometimes you back yourself in the corner and then see if you're a man. Sometimes and this is what's going to this will show you. You backed yourself in the corner. A lot of self-induced wounds, right? And there's some of the circumstances. Some was, the refs and all this other stuff. But at the end of the day, we controlled and did some of the stuff. But can you willing to fight yourself out of it? And that's going to be a big thing that come this Saturday.
We will find out a lot more about this team. It's been a week-to-week lesson. We've said that all along. I agree with it.
Yeah,
we'll
I like the makeup of the team. I'm more or less looking at the individuals.
Yeah, you'll find out more about the individuals as well.
Because you deal with this a lot at the next level if you think you're going to the next level. And I say think.
Well,
hey, I know I've been there.
Yeah.
And I know what it's like. Because there's a lot of times when you don't
that's a different conversation, sir.
When you ain't making the playoffs.
Yeah. We'll throw it the break. When we come back, we're going to give away this signed jersey. So for the folks in the room, they've got another couple of minutes to come up, put their name in the box, and we'll give away this signed Dean Steinkuhler jersey. All you have to do is put your name in the box, and then we'll close out. And then at 6 o'clock, don't go anywhere because Uptown with 43, Terrence Badgett, former Husker basketball player, on his show from 6 to 8, and one of his featured guests tonight, former Husker basketball coach Danny Nee.
Oh, man.
Will join him, and I'm just telling you, that's must-hear radio. Buckle in, and Danny Nee will join Terrence Badgett and Big Sky from 6 to 8. So, yeah, that's going to be worth it. We'll give away this jersey. We'll do that when we come back.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Here's to days spent roaming, and to sleeping beneath the stars, to casting another line and letting time float by. From Shadron State Park to Indian Cave State Park and every recreation area, historical, and state park in between. Here's to your adventures, your memories. Here's to 100 years of your Nebraska State Parks. Plan your next trip today at NebraskaParks100.org. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
If you're thinking about a new career, improving your job skills, or just continuing your love of lifelong learning, Southeast Community College's Spring Continuing Education Catalog is hitting your mailbox soon. It's chock full of options. Learn how to write a compelling grant application, become a pharmacy tech, or even learn to ride a motorcycle. We even provide the bike. Check out your catalog or go to southeast.edu/continuing education. SCC. your path to possible.
Tired of interrupted printing or money-wasting long-term copier contract? Join Cartridge World's no-cost printer program. You get a free brand printer, free service maintenance and repair, free delivery. All this for just buying our high-quality, affordable printer cartridges. Simple agreements and local friendly service, as it has been for more than 25 years. Cartridge World. Contact us today.
South Lincoln has a new place for you to catch all sporting events. The Upside Bar and Lounge is your destination for Monday Night Football, UFC fight nights, and more. It's a great place to meet friends to enjoy great drinks and food, with plenty of TVs to catch all the action. There's easy access and free parking and comfortable seating for groups. And don't forget happy hour from 3 to 6 p.m. each weekday. There's specials every night, including taco night on Mondays and burger baskets on Tuesdays. That's at the Upside Bar and Lounge at 27th and Pine Lake.
The Mercado by Certified Piedmontese Beef is Lincoln's newest full-service butcher shop, offering premium fresh-cut steaks and house-made sausages daily from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. They exclusively carry certified Piedmontese beef raised right here in Nebraska. When shopping at the Mercado, you're not only supporting local, but also enjoying the official beef of Nebraska Athletics. With prime-grade tenderness and unparalleled nutritionals, your backyard barbecue is about to get a serious upgrade. Stop into the Mercado today, located off 84th and Havelock in Lincoln.
Hey, it's Sean Callahan, and football season is here, and Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill has food and drink specials every night for all the games. Enjoy jumbo pork tenderloin for $8.99 and 90-cent wings for Monday Night Football, or Comfort Thursday Night Football with chicken fried chicken, steak, or pork for just $9.99 and $20 Coors Light aluminum buckets. Watch college football on Saturdays with an Aggie sandwich for $9.99 and Coors Light specials, and catch NFL Sundays with Bloody Marys and more. That's Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill.
Experiencing increased body fat, low sex drive, lack of energy, or general fatigue? Vitalize Health offers testosterone replacement therapy and peptide therapy to boost hormone levels and build muscle mass. Call Vitalize Health today at 402-413-0717 or go online to vitalizehealthne.com.
Beatrice Bakery has been serving Nebraska with one-of-a-kind grandma's fruitcake since 1964. You already know that, but did you know they offer way more than that? You've got to try their line of liqueur cakes, like the strawberry daiquiri cake or the vanilla rum cake. Or what about their breakfast breads, the banana nut bread, or their various streusel coffee cakes? Whatever the occasion, Beatrice Bakery has something for you. Oh yeah, and grandma's fruitcake? It's still pretty darn good. Beatrice Bakery, located in downtown Beatrice, or always online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
Want a free pair of Nebraska football tickets? Head to theticketfm.com's contest tab and register for a free pair of tickets each week of a home game, courtesy of Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of Woods Brothers and 93.7 The Ticket. Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Final segment from Tanner's 30th and Yankee Hill. I want to thank the folks from Tanner's for having us, and we'll be back Saturday, 90 minutes after the ball game, to break down what happened versus Ohio State. We'll have, I think we've got 2 jerseys for Saturday to raffle off. So post game, come on in. Jake Sorensen is doing the magic work. He will shake them up, shake them
you know
up.
What he's shaking it like?
Yeah.
He's shaking it like the balls for the NBA draft, like the Dolphins about to do for the number 1 pick.
Yeah,
They're
he's
about
trying
get-
to. Yeah, he's
draft another quarterback.
right. He
Look at it.
really is. He
You
really
just
is.
got to shake it up, put it next to your ear, man. The lottery.
Hall of Famer, you reach your hand in there, your oversized hand in there, and get us a winner.
You see this?
No cheating, Jay Foreman.
There you go, Jake.
What do we got? We have our winner in Roger Mutt. Roger Mutt, come on up here, brother. Well done.
Dang.
Congratulations, right up
He just
front.
came in right on the snake.
Like, came in and got it done. There we go. Well done, man. Well done.
Look, he
well
shook hands
done.
with the commissioner of the Dolphins fan club.
Right, like he held it up, right? He held it up. He did his draft picture.
Right.
Right. He did
his draft.
Yeah, he did his draft picture.
Right.
He held it
You've
up.
been
He got it.
drafted.
Yeah. So
You're an honorary Dolphins fan.
Steinkuhler was never a Dolphin.
Right.
Steinkuhler would have done better than that. he deserved better than that. We wouldn't wish that on him. Although he would have gotten to block for Dan Marino. So, there's that. There's that. I understand, man. I understand. Okay, so to finish this up again, I want to thank the staff for taking care of everybody, and you folks for coming out and allowing us to do this in your space. In talking about Ohio State, the things that they do well, 4 plays that they run at a high volume. They run the crossers, bubble screen. They run slants everywhere. And then their play action, which is more chaotic and allows C.J. Stroud a chance to get out of the pocket and make throws. Linebacker Jay Foreman, how do you defend it?
Well, I think the emergence of their running attack or their running back, Henderson, from just being, get the ball and go straight, to where the play's hitting. Now he's going, he's going play side, backside, then he's making guys miss, and he's running a lot more physical. And that's just coming from improvement of him as an individual, but getting a better grasp of the offense. And so, number one, in order for you to stop their play action game, and then also give the defensive backs or the second level the confidence to cover their deep over routes, play a little tighter on the slant routes, or maybe mess up their timing, from the outside linebackers, nickels or dimes or pesos or whatever you want to call them, against the slots, is you got to play well against the run. You got to win. You got to win your one-on-one individual battles, and then you got to be in the right gaps at the right times, playing, as a whole defense. And so that's number one. And then you could do all the fun stuff, bring a little pressure, disguise coverages. But if you're getting, gashed in the run game and getting blown out of the way from a physical standpoint, then not executing, it's going to be a long day. And so, I think they'll be up for the challenge. I think it's just that we got, look, you got to play, you got to play physical. You got to play smart. You got to play tough. And a lot of times everybody's like, oh, physical is just going out there and trying to blow somebody up. And, of course that's it, but it's mentally, you got to be mentally tough. They're going to make plays. They got great players. They execute well, but you can't give them anything easy. And then if you make it hard on them, and that's what you want to do, because eventually, everybody has a breaking point, and you got to be able to make plays when they're ready to break.
What can Nebraska do well offensively to make this a game?
Be on time, be on schedule. Do well in the run game. I think their defensive line is really good, but also I think there's plays to be made in the run game. Oregon showed you that. Other teams have showed you that the weeks past. Minnesota definitely showed you that. I mean, Minnesota was controlling, and I know it's the first week, blah, 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 controlling the game from a physicality standpoint, the run game standpoint, win the line of scrimmage, win the running game, or be efficient in the running game. That's going to open up everything else.
Hang tight, folks. Danny Nee, former Husker basketball coach.
I'm going to have to check in there. I'm going to ask Danny Nee why he, everybody else recruited me for basketball. He didn't come up to the house.
Because he and Tom had already made a deal. That's going to be the excuse. We appreciate you folks here at Tanner State, too. Upside, come on now. Uptown with number 43. Terrence Badgett, featured guest tonight, former Husker head coach Danny Nee. We're out. We'll talk to you tomorrow, but don't go anywhere. Uptown with number 43 is next.